Hi, Drew Peterson here. The other day I was speaking with the manager of a real estate office, and he let me know that he was having an issue with a particular objection during recruiting appointments. Now, agents would tell him either the timing isn't right for me to move, or they'd say something along the lines of, I'm not totally happy where I am, but I'm not totally unhappy, so I think I'll just stick it out for now. Those types of objections are extremely common. In fact, outside of commission objections, I would say timing objections are the most common. It's difficult to overcome those because the agent isn't necessarily saying no to you, they're just saying not today. And when they say not today, that's because of a lack of urgency. It's because of a lack of motivation. Motivation comes down to a couple of components. There's away from motivation and there's toward motivation. I'll use the classic example of exercising. Somebody who has a toward motivation for exercising would say something like, I'm going to exercise because I want to be healthier. In other words, they're moving toward health. Someone on the flip side who had away from motivation for exercising might say something like, I don't want to be overweight anymore. That's why I'm going to exercise. I'm tired of feeling sluggish and unhealthy. That's away from. They're moving away from that sluggish feeling, away from those extra pounds. And we as human beings, we don't always just go with one type of motivation or the other. So for example, for me, I might be motivated toward buying a new car. I might be motivated away from eating unhealthy. And that's why in recruiting appointments, the key to getting an agent to see urgency is to hit both the toward motivation and the away from motivation. Most recruiting appointments are geared toward the toward motivation. The recruiter's job is to tell the agent how much better off that agent will be by joining the company. That means throwing around things like you'll make more money here, you'll be happier here, you'll get better support here. And for the most part, the away from motivation is never addressed. And that's why that objection comes up of the lack of urgency of not today, maybe tomorrow. The agent doesn't see the cost of staying where they are. Now, most recruiters will ask in the appointment, what don't you like about your current company or what would you change? But when they get the answers, let's say the agent would want to change the training. They don't feel like the training is very good or they don't get enough training. Then the recruiter's typical response is going to be to say, well, our recruiting or our training is better here. You'll be better off here. You'll make more money with our training. We have more frequent classes. And those are all hitting the toward motivation. To create the urgency for the agent to join that day or as soon as possible, you want to ask about the cost of them remaining where they are. I'll use the same example of training. Instead of saying, well, you'll be better off here because of our training, you might ask, well, what do you think that lack of training is costing you? Do you feel like that maybe you've missed out on listings because you don't feel confident in your listing presentation? Or do you feel like you're not getting as many leads as you want because you just don't know the right way to prospect? By asking the agent these questions, by getting the agent to understand the cost of remaining where they are, you'll get to that question of urgency. Now, certainly you want to continue to talk about the toward motivation and how that agent will be better off, but you want to spend an equal amount of time, if not perhaps a greater amount of time, making the agent feel the pain of staying where they are. That's how you create that urgency. I hope that's helpful to you. If you are running across any objections, whether when trying to get the appointment or during the appointments, please leave me a comment below or hit reply and respond to the email. I'm always looking to help you overcome some of the challenges and struggles you're dealing with. That's part of the reason for these weekly emails and videos. I look forward to talking with you next week. Bye-bye.